Well, good morning. We are in beautiful Perdana Botanical Gardens here in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. I enjoy coming here every other day for a nice morning walk. It's so gorgeous. And today, a nice sunny day, and you just can't beat it. I want to talk to you today about an idea that matches everything we're going to be covering this year on this channel. Minimalism and how to invest so that you can afford this lifestyle, travel the way that I do, being paid by dividend stocks. That's the two themes that I'm going to be covering this year, investing and minimalism, because basically they fall under the same idea that has made this lifestyle possible. Fewer, better. What do I mean by that? Well, it's been a long time since I've had lots of things. Basically, everything I own is in my backpack, and that's the way that I live. The same has been true with my stock portfolio. I started out with a huge stock portfolio, so many companies, it was crazy. But over time, I learned and I researched and I made changes, and today my portfolio is much smaller. I have learned through trial and error, making mistakes and learning along the way that in life, fewer, better is the way to go. And we're going to talk about that in this video. And we're going to see a lot of beautiful Kuala Lumpur. I'm taking you out for meals in this video. I'm taking you out on the town to see more of the nightlife. We're going to enjoy Kuala Lumpur. I'm bringing you prices for everything, how this lifestyle works. Okay, we've got a lot to cover in this video. Let's get going.
Traveling the world as a minimalist with one backpack, that is what we do here. Subscribe and come along with Retire and Go.
Let's talk about living with less. And that has been a big theme over these 3 years of being retired and now going into my 4th full year of travel, living on my dividend stocks. Living with less. First of all, living a minimalist lifestyle. Pretty much everything I own is in my backpack. I've done gear issues on this video. I just did one a few weeks ago with all my gear for 2026. It has basically meant that I haven't had that stress that I used to have owning so much stuff, owning a house. I have a home in Hawaii that I rent out long term. I have a real estate agent that manages it for me. I communicate with them about once a year. Fantastic. That eliminates so much stress from my life. I used to have a storage facility, gone. Pretty much everything is in my backpack, and that's just the way I like it. If I need something along the way, I'll just buy it. If I still don't need it, I'll donate it to the hotel that I'm staying in after I leave. And that system has kept me, it's kept me sane. Living with less has kept me sane. It has helped me build my wealth over time. And that's the next thing that I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you how I took my dividend portfolio and found out that fewer, better worked for my stocks as well. My style of investing for years, we can go back a couple decades, has been to research some innovative company, some company that I like that I think has an amazing future. And then I would buy shares in that company, like a chunk of shares, and I would add it to my portfolio. Now, as you can imagine, over time, my portfolio got very large, and it did. There was a time when I had like 30, even more stocks than that in. But I liked all the companies. But I learned something along the way, which is you can't keep up with them. You can't keep up with what's happening in that many companies. And because of that, some of my stocks failed because I was not able to maintain what was happening with those companies. Big changes happened. Changes in their future, changes in their revenue, changes in their product line. They hired CEOs that destroyed the companies. And I was like, what the heck am I doing? I'm not able to keep up with this many companies. I'm not investing correctly. So I had to make some changes.
Right now, I'm going to make some changes into the amount of caffeine in my bloodstream, heading over to Light Capture. This is one of the coffee shops that I get a lot of comments about. And so every time I come through Kuala Lumpur, I have to stop in, half cafe and half just kind of a rustic, remodeled, artsy, very cool multi-level cafe. Fantastic restaurant, by the way. The food is excellent here. I find myself using the strong Wi-Fi and getting a cappuccino, doing some editing here more than anything. But how beautiful. They just took and hollowed out down to the original brickwork of this beautiful multi-level building and built a cafe inside. I love finding these kinds of places, and I love bringing them to you. This is one of the reasons why I say that staying in small backpacker style budget hotels, it's not a problem. Thank you so much. I am usually outside of my room, either walking, which I love to do every day, get several kilometers in, walking around the city. I walk for hours. Or just relaxing in a cafe like this, comfortable, using the Wi-Fi, reading, editing. And this is all part of a chill lifestyle that I was looking for in retirement. Here at Light Capture, you know, they used to have some bunnies here to play with. It looks like today they didn't have them. Okay, let's head back to the park. We've got a lot more still to talk about.
In 2025, I began to concentrate my dividend stock portfolio. My growth portfolio has always been small. It's just a handful of big technology companies that I believe are changing the world. Very simple. But my dividend portfolio was huge. And I looked at it and I realized that two things were happening. One, I was not maintaining these stocks well. I didn't even know what was happening in most of these companies. And the second thing was I had a lot of money in stocks that didn't grow, didn't go anywhere, and were hardly paying me anything in dividends. And I was like, man, this isn't working for me anymore. I would rather have a smaller portfolio that brings me more money annually and monthly to live my lifestyle. Also, I can manage that portfolio. I can keep an eye on those stocks. I wanted fewer, better stocks. That's what I wanted. That's exactly what I worked on. Through 2025, I took a look at all the companies that I was basically investing in. Some companies I had, just a few shares in. Other companies I had really large positions in. And I said a couple of basic things to myself. Could I take a stock like an ETF, SCHD, which holds many great dividend companies inside of it? If a company is not growing anyhow, and if it's making less than SCHD, why don't I just put that money in SCHD? I'm making more, and it's being actively managed by like people who went to Wharton. Let them manage it. And then I looked at these new covered call ETFs that have come out. And I said, what am I doing? What am I doing? I've always wanted to get into trading options, but I didn't know what I was doing really with options. Let them do it for me. And I invest my money into these covered call ETFs. They do the options trading for me. So I started buying two particular covered call ETFs, collapsing a lot of my portfolio into just a handful of ETFs. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Over time, I also discovered two more that I really liked. And I got to a point to where I'll show you my entire portfolio here. That's my entire portfolio going into 2026. A small dividend portfolio in the number of stocks that I have. But the portfolio is growing better than ever before because it's about having fewer, better choices in there. Choices that I can manage, that I can stay on top of, that I'm aware of what's happening. Let's go over here. It's beautiful. Let's take a look at this. I love this park. It wasn't about having 30 different stocks anymore, and I didn't know what was going on with them. And I was getting, a return that I was trying to shoot for 6% return. Some of my companies were failing, and I just said, that's not working out for me anymore. So instead, I concentrated my portfolio to a size that I could manage and increasing my dividend average for the year. I mean, it just blew me away. It wasn't a complicated idea. It was just something that I was overlooking. The idea of having fewer, better stocks that paid me, that paid for this lifestyle. Getting rid of things, getting rid of stuff that I had, getting rid of a storage facility that I had, rentals, getting rid of that stuff. Minimalism is not just an economic idea. Minimalism is a mental idea. And decreasing the stress in your life, you're making that minimal too.
I'm about to minimize the grumbling in my stomach. I'm going to get myself some pizza. You see, I have what's called a cheat day. That's how I'm managing my carbs. I really don't eat much carbs throughout the week. On the weekend, I like to go get a nice pizza. And finding a place like this, Mojo and Company, is just what I look for here in the Bukit Bintang area. In fact, the owner was here throwing a little New Year's Eve gathering for their friends, and I just happened to walk in. Not a problem. They threw together a fantastic pizza for me. I ordered the Diavolo, which is a spicy pepperoni, and they do throw some jalapenos on there as well. However, I have to tell you, it wasn't overly spicy or anything like that. It was just the right amount. Incredible ingredients. They chatted with me. The owner came out and chatted with me, told me about the operation, everything. Just a wonderful crew.
She said they use the rubber wood. Rubber wood, yeah.
Yes, that's right. Mahalo.
Very good. Oh, they're putting the bacon on there. Look at that. Oh, man, that looks good.
They were making up several pizzas for the gathering inside. I'll be honest with you, I don't even know if they were open for business. But I walked in, started filming everything. They were like, yeah, sit down. And I just ordered myself. Here they go. In the pizzas go. Very hot. They said it takes only about 2 to 3 minutes because these are thin pizzas.
That's great. Look at that.
The owner said they had 15 years of experience in the pizza industry. And I don't know if this location has been open that long, but you could really tell the staff really knew what they did and just did a fantastic job making these pizzas.
Ooh, look at that right there. Man. Thank you so much. Phew, thank you.
This pizza was 40 ringgit, which is a fantastic price for a really well-made and just a classic spicy pepperoni pizza. This is the way I enjoy my cheat days. Yeah, I'm doing minimalism in calories this year as well. You better believe that. We'll talk a little bit more about that. But yeah, I have been doing really good, cutting back on alcohol, cutting back on my carbs, keeping up my workout. That's all part of minimalism too.
There are 2 other areas that I discovered over the last 3 years that fewer is better. First is in supplements. What are supplements? Like things that I was taking. There was a time in my life when I was all into like having gym memberships and working out, and I was lifting heavy weight. And man, I used to take like a handful of supplements, all kinds of pills and stuff. I was like, yeah, this one's for, who knows? I mean, what a mess. I mean, I was taking all kinds of crazy stuff, and I had a theory for each one. But now at this time in my life, I'm really cutting down on the number of supplements that I take. I cut back, and I think that it's given my kidneys and my liver a break. Because when you're taking lots and lots of supplements, man, your body has to metabolize those and process them. And I think a lot of it just kind of excreted out of your body and you were just kind of throwing money away. I think that it was good for my health to actually reduce what I was taking every day. I've gotten down now to 2026. I'm taking vitamin D3. I'm taking zinc. I take an 80 milligram aspirin, which is recommended by Harvard when you get to be a certain age. And I'm just eating healthy. And that's the second thing I want to talk about. Fewer, better. I'm eating less calories. I'm eating less carbs. I'm drinking less alcohol. I cut out vaping because I like nicotine. Nicotine is a nootropic and it really helps me calm my racing brain. My brain is constantly going and I enjoy it. But I don't enjoy inhaling anything into my lungs. I've never been like a smoker. Every once in a while I'll have a cigar. But yeah, I cut out the vaping. Went down just to nicotine pouches, which I enjoy. No tobacco, I cut a lot of things out of my life. And I do that. I go through my backpack every 6 months and remove stuff. Can you imagine that? Things that I just haven't used. If I haven't used it in a year or whatever, what am I carrying it around for? And the same thing I think was true for what I was eating, supplements. I was not living my best life. I was adding all these things to my life that were affecting my liver and my kidneys and thinking that it was healthy for me. What's healthy for you is exercising every day and eating healthy. That's what's healthy for you. And that's what I went down to, and I love it. And I lost a lot of weight. I don't feel so bad showing this picture now. This is a few years ago, and I was heavy. Now I'm trim and I feel fantastic. I've lost a lot of weight. I'm stronger. I have more energy. My mind is more focused. I'm building my wealth every year. And I haven't done it by adding things to my life. I've done it by removing things from my life because I learned fewer is better.
Another thing I like to do on the weekends is head out for a nice evening walk. I'll walk down and see the Twin Towers here in Kuala Lumpur, watch the beautiful light show that they do in the park area behind. By the way, this is every weekend, and the times are online that they do this. It's just gorgeous. Families, everybody, they just come down and crowd, and it's wonderful. Everybody's taking pictures and video. I love it. There's so much energy, and it's safe. You can walk through the city at night. I'm going to take you back down to Chinatown. We're going to go find a nice dive bar. This place is pretty cool. I've enjoyed this. It's called Junk, and they play great 90s music all night, 80s, 90s, pop, disco. And you can grab yourself a nice drink. I ordered a salty dog, and it's only 30 ringgit, I think. It was like 30 ringgit, but this is the kind of thing I like to do on the evenings. I'm here a little bit early. It'll get more busy as the evening goes on, but that's not so much for me. Check out Chinatown for jazz clubs, all kinds of different venues, restaurants, cafes, crazy bars like this.
I want to thank you for spending some time with me today. Not only did we get to have a great conversation, but we also got a chance to see more of beautiful Kuala Lumpur. I'm going to be here for a few more weeks, and then I'm moving on to another country, and I hope you come along with. If you're interested in this lifestyle, traveling around the world as a minimalist with one backpack, like and subscribe to the video and come along with. You can support the channel by picking up a copy of my several books. The links are in the description. It's the only kind of merch that I have. Okay, I'm going to relax and enjoy the rest of my morning walk. We'll talk again soon. Aloha.
I thought it was safe to go to the Perdana Botanical Gardens today, but I wasn't. The mad monitor lizard of Malaysia. There are more and more of these mad monitor lizards creeping up on me. They think they got me, but they don't realize I got the technique to escape them. The mad monitor. A tip if you're traveling as much as me, I take the Amazon Fire Stick with me. You plug it into the back of whatever television you are using in your hotel anywhere on earth. Okay, you just plug it into the back right there using the HDMI, and then you get the little remote that comes with it. And I'll show you how you set this up, and you will have great entertainment whenever you're traveling the way that I do, like a road warrior. Plug it right into the back, HDMI. Then you will connect to the Wi-Fi in your hotel. You can load on the Fire Stick all your favorite channels. Anything that you use, okay? Whatever subscriptions, non-subscription, YouTube. I like to use Tubi because it's free. I use a lot of other channels. It's all kind of loaded on my home screen here. I use NordVPN as well, which I already have for my laptop. Does not cost anything extra. And then I'm connected to the United States. And anywhere I am on Earth, it thinks I'm in the United States. It's perfect. I definitely recommend the Amazon Fire Stick.